This episode was made possible thanks to generous supporters on Patreon. Does this look painfully familiar? What if I tell you that there is a better way to learn and memorize music? Quite often I see people trying to find simple melody on the fretboard and they just go with hitting random notes and hope for the best. This might seem like the proper strategy to go, but the truth is that this approach relies entirely on visual memory and counting frets, and at the same time not being aware of the actual music. This should be pretty much the same as trying to learn text by heart from your biology textbook, for example, without understanding a bit of it. This strategy could only convert you into a parrot, which is still cool, but it won't make you a musician. Music is a complex matter, and you shouldn't approach it as if it's just a string of numbers that you need to memorize. Music is vibration, and expressing thoughts and feelings through it is very similar to what we do when we speak, but in much more abstract way and not so constrained fashion. That said, one should always listen to what they play and pay attention to the melody and see how it relates to everything else. If you follow this path, it won't require any particular effort to go from here to here, for example. What I just did is simply harmonizing this melody using chords that tint up the melody according to the mental picture I've got when I listen to this melody, and I imagine some things and I'm trying to translate them to the listener. This, however, cannot be achieved by reading tabs, counting frets, without the ability to listen and analyze everything you play. For example, the first note from the melody, D, has particular vibe when it's connected to this chord, but the same note in this chord has completely different mood. And if we take the same note and put it into this chord, it gains yet another interesting coloration. A good way to stop thinking in fret numbers is to develop neural linking to your instrument, and probably the best way to do so is to start playing something very simple, even if a scale if you wish, and to sing along with what you play. For example, if we take this D major scale, I'm a terrible singer, but you will get the idea. You can go beyond this idea and make it a little bit more challenging and interesting by singing some interval on top of what you play. For example, which in this case is diatonic third on top of the guitar, and you can do the other way around. And another option to push this even further is to sing a note from a triad. For example, if we take the same note D and imagine a D major triad, we can play just the bottom note and the top note and sing the middle. And you can do this with every other note. We can play the third degree, the fifth degree, and sing the root. Or we can sing the top and just play the root and third. You can get really creative with this approach and you will benefit very, very much from it. Due to the fact that singing is really a natural process, and unless you've got some neurological damage, you will be able to sing a simple melody and intonate relatively well. The purpose of all this is to create a connection between your natural music producing system, in other words singing, with the instrument you play, and in such a way this connection will help you to express your musical thoughts in the same way you express them naturally by singing. If you invest a little bit of time and effort in this skill, you will never again have to blindly searching on the fretboard for notes and relying entirely on chance that eventually you will hit the correct note. And it will also force you to listen to what you play and develop the ability to spot all those errors in the tabs that you find on the internet and that so many people religiously follow without questioning their authenticity. So that's everything for today's episode. I hope you guys like this video and you find it useful. If you like my work, consider supporting me on Patreon up here and on the links down in the description, where you can get access to all kinds of additional materials and interesting stuff for as low as $3 per month. Also, subscribe to my channel and click the bell button to get informed when I upload new video. See you next time, and remember, practice makes perfect.